Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on the location of each individual right now. It is me, Brother Collins, talking to you from the city of Valencia, Spain. It is just 8 minutes past the 8th hour a.m. Today being Wednesday, 9th of January 2019. I thank God for keeping us alive to meet this year 2019 and to meet today being the 9th day. I thank God for His guidance and protection over all of us. I really thank Him for ushering us into this year by His grace and mercy. It is not by power, it is not by our might, it is not because of our righteousness, because there are more righteous people than us who have passed away before the conclusion of last year 2018, and some more righteous people have as well passed away at this early stage of 2019. But by God's mercy, you and I have the privilege to live to meet today. It is a good reason to give thanks, appreciation, and praises unto God. May His name alone be praised in Jesus' mighty name. I want to appreciate some people, starting from Brother Joseph Okechukwu, the leader of Celibacy International, who resides in America, but for the reason of abolition of Ohu and Umeka system, he traveled home. He traveled from America back to home, where he and I myself hail from, the eastern Nigeria, by amalgamation, Igbo land, precisely for the purpose of abolishing the Osu caste system. I thank God for His guidance and protection over him, and I thank God for the success of the Osu caste system, for it has been accomplished. For the success of abolition of the Osu caste system have been accomplished as led by Brother Joseph Okechukwu, the leader, Celibacy International, and Nollywood actor. I want to appreciate all who have made it, starting from the Eze of Nri Kingdom, the Supreme Eze of the Igbo tribe. He is the supreme because the Nri Kingdom is where all other Igbos began to migrate after the settling of the Igbo as ethnic and as people. I also want to thank my IPOB comrades who make themselves available to be present during the event of the abolition of the Osu caste system. I want to appreciate everybody who made themselves available to that event to ensure that that event was accomplished successfully, peacefully, without quarrels. Notwithstanding, I want to correct few wrong conception and impression that emerged from the abolition of Osu caste system event. The wrong conception and the wrong impression I want to correct is about the verbal attack against Brother Joseph Okechukwu during and after the abolition of Osu caste system. And the reason I want to correct this wrong impression is because most of this wrong impression and wrong conception was exhibited by my IPOB comrades, those who were available at the event and those who were watching the event from social media and other means, probably by television also, because I hear people commenting, writing different kinds of attack and the opposition, not against the abolition of the Osuka system, but against some events that took place there, and mostly for a particular event that happened there at the beginning of the whole event. And what happened is the reciting of Nigerian national anthem during the abolition of this Osuka system. I want to correct the wrong impression and the wrong conception my IPOB comrades had about it, because most of them were verbally attacking Bro Joseph Okechukwu for not conducting the abolition of Osuka system with the beginning of reciting Biafra national anthem. And as a reason, some of the IPOB members got annoyed. Regardless of that, I thank God that there was no violence or interruption of the program until it was successfully concluded, and that is because God was in control. So I want to correct some of my IPOB comrades concerning the reciting of Nigerian national anthem during the event of abolition of Osuka system as led by Joseph Okechukwu. My IPOB comrades, I want to prove you wrong by rebuking Brother Joseph Okechukwu and complaining about the reciting of Nigerian national anthem in that event. The reason I want to prove you wrong is because, listen carefully and listen attentively. One, you have to understand that Brother Joseph Okechukwu passed some processes to secure consent of the Eze of Nri, many other traditional rulers, and the Anambra State Nigerian governor, who is Willie Obiano. So, if you people can apply common sense and not being adamant to personal view, which should not be helpful to what we are pursuing, you have to realize that Brother Joseph Okechukwu will have to agree with these traditional rulers and the governor, who is Willie Obiano, that Nigeria anthem should be recited during the event and at the opening ceremony. Then other things follows. And the reason being that he secured consent from Governor Willie Obiano and other traditional rulers who are still leading or ruling under the authority of Nigerian government. And as I'm talking to you, I know that we all are Biafrans, and there is the need to promote Biafra things while we are doing, while we are engaged into any event. Yet, it is very, very wise that we should do the right thing at the right time and not make costly mistakes that will continue to keep us in stagnant to the project we have at hand. You should understand that Brother Joseph Okechukwu might not be granted the consent from Ezenri, other traditional rulers who were present there, and the governor Willie Obiano, to conduct the abolition of the Osuka system if he, Brother Joseph Okechukwu, refused to accept the reciting of Nigerian national anthem during the event. What matters most is the purpose for which that event was conducted. What was our target in that event? The target is the abolition of the Osu caste system. And remember that the Eze of Nri is still a representative of Nigerian traditional ruler. He is a representative among Nigerian traditional rulers and not yet an officially Biafran traditional ruler. Both him, the same thing as using Eze of Nri as an example, is applicable to all other traditional rulers who were present at that event. These people still represent Nigeria. So whatever thing they are doing, they will not, no matter however the logic may come out, they will not just deny Nigeria totally. A time will come when they will denounce Nigeria totally. And that time is only when Biafra is actually restored, completely restored, or they themselves they decide to denounce Nigeria and quit from their rulership, then join Biafra agitation. That is when you will expect them to deny Nigeria completely. But at this point in time, they are still part of Nigerian government. But what matters is whatever thing they should do, they should put our welfare, our well-being, our future in consideration in whatever thing they are doing. So the best they can do is to support the abolition of the Osuka system, while to show to Nigeria that they have not completely denounced Nigeria. So they are doing everything by legal means. That is the reason they had to recite that Nigerian national anthem that day. So what the event of that day was not an event led by IPOB authority. This is what you should know. If it is an event led by IPOB authority, because the IPOB authority are the authority who have properly denounced Nigeria completely, and everything they want to do, they recite Biafra national anthem and not Nigerian national anthem. But these people you are dealing with, being the rulers, the governors, and even many other people who were present there, the invitees, they are not all hardcore Biafrans. This is what you have to understand. So something has to be done in a neutral way. A successful project is a project that is properly planned, properly timed, and properly executed. Biafra restoration is a project in process. It is not yet an accomplished project. So as we are in the process and targeting to accomplish the restoration of Biafra, we have to apply what is called diplomacy. Diplomacy is a kind of wisdom. Diplomacy is defined as a way of dealing with people without upsetting them or offending them. But what matters is when you apply diplomacy, you have a target, and your target should be the purpose for which you are dealing with the people. What is your interest? Our interest is the completion of the abolition of the Osuka system. So if reciting the Nigerian national anthem will be the reason to draw the attention, to win the consent and the approval of these traditional cabinets and the Anambra State governor in whose state this event was conducted, we recite it. That is not the issue. It does not make any sense beginning to complain why Nigerian national anthem was recited during the event while we are Biafrans. Then as I keep proving you wrong, I was waiting for the event to pass and for this January to pass, for some days to pass inside this January, inside this new year, before I will begin to make this video so that I will have some facts to defend what I am saying. Because I know for sure that most of the people who complain against Brother Joseph for permitting the recitation of Nigerian national anthem during the abolition of Osuka system have bought or have been buying some things with Nigerian currency since ever then. Then why not you do away with the Nigerian currency you are still using, since you are no longer a part of Nigeria, but you are now Biafrans. So that is where you fell it. Even while you were writing against Brother Joseph Okechukwu, writing against the recitation of that Nigerian national anthem, I believe some of you will even have Nigerian currency in your wallet. So, the problem we have some occasions that bring our setback or stagnation is not even what people assume to be the main problem, but misconception, wrong conception, and wrong impression are some of fundamental problems that trouble a human's future. And human current affairs. That is the reason I made mention of while looking for sources, while pursuing sources, you have to plan properly, you have to time properly, then you have to venture properly. Everybody looking for sources can have plans. Sometimes some people have good ambitions, some have bad ambitions. But improper planning and the wrong timing will frustrate the project that will lead to success. This is what I want you to understand. Like, for example, you are complaining about reciting of Nigerian national anthem during the event of abolition of Osuka system, but you are still using Nigerian currency. Why? The reason is because you need to use the Nigerian currency for now until Biafra is completely restored. Then the Nigerian currency you are using now will be changed. It will be converted to Biafra currency. Then you begin to use Biafra currency. It makes no sense if you decide to begin to use Biafra currency now that Biafra is not yet properly restored. Because it is like it is just forcing yourself to do the right thing at the wrong time and in a wrong way. This is not the time to begin to use Biafra currency. You continue to use Nigeria currency to sustain yourself and keep on fighting for Biafra restoration. That is what sense is all about. And that is the right concept. But the effort to begin to force yourself, or you go to people's store and tell them, even if you are fellow Biafrans, you tell them because you are Biafrans, you have denounced Nigerian currency, you want to begin to buy things with Biafra currency. It makes no sense, and they will still see you as a fool because you want to do the right thing at the wrong time. You have a project, but you do not time well and you do not plan well. A time for using the Biafra currency should come. This is not the time. So a time will come when all the events will be conducting as Biafra people must be in line with Biafra national anthem. But anything we are doing which involve Nigerians or one Nigerian believers among the Igbo ethnic, and if there is the need to recite Nigerian national anthem, but to have our target achieved, we do it. For example, if I am invited by Nigerian government today for Biafra referendum that we should sit and have Biafra referendum, but they ask me, they let me know that the commencement of the event should start by opening prayer, followed by recitation of Nigerian national anthem. Thereafter, we sit down and discuss about Biafra matter. That the target of that day should be the discussion of Biafra matter. But the way it should be done is opening prayer, a recital of Nigerian national anthem, then some other ceremonial events, maybe before or after the discussion on what to decide concerning the restoration of Biafra. I don't see anything wrong about it because I need Nigerian authority to sit with and discuss about Biafra restoration, and that is the referendum we are targeting about. Do you think if Nigeria government has to invite our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Uche Mefo to come and sit and for Biafra referendum, beginning it with opening prayer and the recitation of Nigerian national anthem, do you think they will not do it? Use your sense. Your brain is the greatest asset you have. You may have opportunity, have privilege, have everything, but without brain, you still lose the opportunity, you lose the privilege, and you mismanage even the resources you have at hand. One of the foundations of the sources of the Europeans is their brain. It is not about the material resources they have, but they have the brain to manage what they have. And the greatest cause of African failure is the ability to make proper use of the brain. We have more resources more than the Europeans. We have more resources more than Americans. But we don't, our leaders, we have leaders with cow brain, and we have followers with foul brain. And that is the reason we are where we are, according to Professor Vice President Osibanjo. My people, let us learn how to apply our brain. All we need is common sense. Common sense. Common sense is not academical. It is not academic potency. It is just a natural blessing God has given unto everyone. Then it is your own responsibility to apply it accurately. And that will grant you ease of success. Grant us ease of success to whatever thing we are looking for. Because if I don't correct this impression, we'll continue to progress in error. I am an IPOB member, and the reason I am just correcting this wrong impression and the wrong concept by IPOB member, because I am disappointed hearing some telling Brother Joseph Okechukwu by comments that he has just used IPOB to achieve what he wants. Or maybe the comment was somehow linked to me, who is an IPOB member and also a member of Celibacy International, and an ardent supporter of the abolition of the Osuka system. So I was disappointed at seeing that comment and hearing some people commenting just that way. It makes no sense. The recitation of Nigerian national anthem during that event should not be a problem. That is not where we should channel our mind, because the traditional ruler who approved it to be done is still a traditional ruler under Nigerian government. He is a Biafran. He may be a one Nigerian believer, I don't know. He may be among those who are waiting to confess their Biafranism after Biafra has been fully restored. I don't know, I'm not speaking on his behalf. But what matters is, in that event, we needed our target, our interest was the success of that event and the goal of abolishing the Osuka system achieved, which we have achieved actually. It's a reason to give thanks to God, and we have the responsibility to think rightly. Even as I'm talking now, those of the IPOB members who castigated Brother Joseph Okechukwu, or even myself, for using IPOB to achieve their target, you are mistaken, and it's a result of wrong conception and wrong impression you have about Biafra issue and how it should be pursued. Praise the Lord. So let us learn to do the right things at the right time and in the right manner. That will facilitate our struggle. It is not about just being adamant and being naive when you have not truly understand what is going on. What is going on is that Brother Joseph Okechukwu have discussed with these people. So if we will approve the event, just permit us to start it with Nigerian national anthem. Then everything will take shape the way you want it, and that is exactly how it happened. And I will not be surprised that some of you who castigated him have been using the same Nigerian currencies even since you entered into this new year, and buying things and eating, using, because this is not the proper time to change from Nigerian currency to Biafra currency. So if you are doing anything, I will not blame you for using Nigerian currency right now, because I know that this is what you need to do while waiting for the appropriate time when it will do away with it and begin to use our own Biafra currency. It's just like some people telling me that if I want to prove that I am a serious Biafra agitator, that I should burn my Nigerian passport while they video it and send to social media. People will see it publicly that I have denounced Nigeria. I tell them that doesn't make any sense. And I will not do it because I am sensitive, I am a wise person. It is only fools that will take that kind of action. They ask me why, then why should I use Nigerian passport if I claim to be a Biafran? Then I now tell them that this Nigerian passport is a passport of amalgamation, which I inherited as a reason of amalgamation. And there is no need to burn it. What of if I burn my passport today and Nigerian government invites me tomorrow to come and have my referendum? What will I travel with? So it does not make any sense. I have to reserve it, using it, keep using it until I achieve what I want. And the Nigerian government have the right to sue me to court if I burn Nigerian national documents. They have the right to sue me to court, and I will not make that mistake because I am wise. The reason we, the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, keep defeating the Nigerian government in anything about the court and the concerning law and the court is because Nigerians are ruled by foolish people who do not regard the rules of law, who do not even know how to do the right thing, and they keep making mistakes. Because most of the thing we use against them is their own mistake. Them being an informed and trained IPOB member, I will not give Nigeria the opportunity with my own mistake to be used against me. I will always prevent the mistake. So burning the Nigerian passport is a mistake if I should do it. So when the time comes, if I am invited to come and have Biafra referendum, I have to travel with the same passport, then with my travel documents, which I have here in Spain. Then I will come and sit with Nigerian government, discuss about it. When I am giving Biafra, then at the time they are declaring Biafra with me, they will be collecting the passport which they give me by amalgamation. Then I will go and print my own Biafra passport afresh and begin to use it. So that is how it is, a matter of brain application. It is not just being angry and doing the wrong thing. You cause more problem. All you need is solution. All I need is solution. We need solution because there are problems. But when you try to solve problems with the wrong solution, you create more problem. You will escalate the problems more and more rather than solving it. So, solution is not everything you imagine to be the solution to your problem, but solution is the actual thing who will settle the case or the cases which you are into or which you are struggling with. These are the solution. For example, as a Nigerian, you have headache and you want to quench the headache. What you need is Optalidone or paracetamol. Then if you believe that, what is it called? Dogoyaro is more medicinal than all these tablets, then you go and drink it. It is a solutionary herb, but that is for fever. It is not for headache. So it will not give you the result you want. So this is how it is. Okay, let me just brief this one here, then we continue. As I said earlier, this 2019 is a very unique year. From the first day of this year, 2019, from the first day of this January 2019, I have been hearing different people making different videos from social media and sending. And even the Nigerian government, we the Biafra agitators have been making our own. You see that there is a lot of squabble, there is a lot of confusion in the country called Biafra, and in that contraption called Nigeria. By amalgamation, there is a lot of confusion. The politicians are confused. Everybody is confused. But the people who truly know what they are doing are just some individuals who decide to support justice and freedom for all in Nigeria, and this specific organization which I belong to, IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra. These are the people who truly know the right thing they are doing. Even the Igbo politicians and the other Nigerian politicians, Nigerian government themselves, are not doing the right thing. The reason the IPOB is the people doing the right thing is because they are the people who stand against the evil, against the corruption, against the corrupt government, against the behaviors from our corrupt politicians, the cabal from among Igbo politicians, Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani dominantly, over other tribes. On the very first day of January 2019, I had a spiritual attack. I was confronted by European and the Black African witches, wizards. These are male type of wizards, but they confronted me in form of human beings, but indeed they were real wizards. The one of European was a vampire. The other one of from Africa, I don't know the class of witches he belongs to, but I fought with them. I was able to escape. They couldn't neither injure me or attack me very seriously. And that is by the grace of God. You know, demons don't die. We may pray and say demons, witches and wizards die. No, they don't die. That is the reason, the necessity of having knowledge of what you are doing. Demons don't die, witches and wizards don't die. But as God empowers us and gives us the grace, we keep defeating them in every battle in which we engage against them. We only achieve victory over witches and wizards, but thinking about or struggling about or praying about killing them, it doesn't work. They don't die. They are spirit beings. And these are the fallen angels who were cast down from heaven with Lucifer. Then they begin to form themselves. We are being assigned by Lucifer, their supreme leader, for different assignments. And so as they operate, they continue to possess humans because they operate through human's body. Whomsoever they influence, they begin to use that person. So the spirit manifesting through the person is the spirit, the demon of witches and wizards, while the person become their human tool with whom they operate. That is how it works. So we should be more sensitive. Okay, glory be to God. And let me go straight to today's topic. Today's topic is how Africans should respect elders and authorities. Biafrans and Nigerians as cases examples. How Africans should respect elders and authorities. God gave me this topic to talk upon about 2 months ago. 2 months ago, that was in November. But I was just taking my time to gather some facts to add to the ones I already have, then before I begin to publicize it as I am doing now. I come to discover that Africans don't really know how to respect elders and authorities. Our future, our past and present situation are linked to the respect we give to elders and authorities. Respecting elders and authority is one of the African central culture. I'm talking about we the Black Africans. We are trained on how to respect elders, on how to respect authorities, both from home, in schools, in social gatherings, through our customs, culture, even in the religious sectors. The Bible upon which Christianity is based also teaches on how to respect elders and authorities. But in our own shortcomings, we fail to realize that there are different kinds of elders and different kinds of authorities. And we fail to realize the kind of elders and the kind of authorities we should respect. When Bible says we should respect those that are in authority and we should respect elders, Bible is referring to the elders, to the leaders, to the authorities who actually take their proper responsibilities as priority and venture to accomplish them. There are authorities and elders with proper purposes, while there are authorities and elders with wrong agendas, wrong purposes, wrong intentions, and selfish interests. The suffering of Africans from the past to the present is linked to the elders, to the authorities which we are subjected to. Leadership and leaders are placed upon the people to manage the people's affairs, to manage the people's resources, to manage the people's present situation, and to build a better future for the people whom they lead. But the failure to accomplish these purposes I am very, very distracted. I don't know why, but God is in control. I don't know if I will drop this video making bets. God help me. The purpose for which leadership and leaders are established is to manage the affairs and resources of the people and to build a better future for the people, leaving good legacy for their successors who will continue, and they, after their retirement, or after the end of their tenures, depending on the kind and the categories of leaders they are, then they become role model and good advisors and directors to their successors and other people. They become righteous mentors to others. This is what leadership is about. But self-interest, greed, which lead to materialism and power tussle, have made some leaders to mismanage the opportunity, the privilege, the resources, the people, and the future, the affairs of the people committed to them. Rather than using them positively, they begin to use them negatively. Rather than to use it for the people, they begin to use it against the people. And the major problems of the majority of Africans using Biafrans and Nigerians as cases example is the failure to realize that we don't have to keep obeying evil leaders. We don't have to keep obeying corrupt leaders. We don't have to keep obeying the leaders and the elders, the authority in form of government, in form of traditional rulers, in form of state governors, in form of political ministers of all levels, in form of church elders, in form of pastors, in form of prophets. We don't have to keep obeying them, respecting them when they mean our destruction and do not want to change. It is quite obvious that leaders at times make mistakes. Leaders make mistakes in most time. But good leaders are not leaders who don't make mistakes, but good leaders are leaders who are willing to correct their mistakes, who are willing to listen to the people, who are willing to cater for the well-being of the people, who are willing to amend from their harshness or from their tyranny over the people. But there are wicked rulers who have the privilege or opportunity to be in the position of authorities. Then rather than using the authorities committed to them as an avenue to better the people, they use it as an avenue to achieve their self-interest or to exercise their tyranny, oppression, intimidation, humiliation over the people committed to them to be cared for. Looking at what is happening in the amalgamated company called Nigeria, the zoo country, the animal kingdom, and Biafra land joined together, you will understand that leadership has been one of the fundamental root of our problems. And the wrong respect we have for the governmental authority, the traditional ruler authority, the political authority in the political sector, in the traditional and the cultural rulership and the leadership system. The obedience we have for our various pastors, our various prophets, our various elders, both in the church and outside the church, have a lot to contribute to our state of life as it is today. Who are the elders we as Biafrans and Nigerians supposed to obey? And who are the elders we are not supposed to obey? How long should we keep obeying the elders? And how long should we stop obeying them? Then what should be the reason why we should keep obeying them? What should be the reason we should stop obeying them? I want to make us understand that there are kinds of obedience, but I want to introduce to us two major kinds of obedience according to me, and that is wise obedience and foolish obedience. Wise obedience is the obedience that makes sense and is beneficial and profitable to the obedient. While foolish obedience is the kind of obedience that does not make any sense, that is disadvantageous and disastrous and destructive to the obedient. Those who manage their obedience wisely are wise, obedient people, and those who mismanage their obedience are foolish, obedient set of people. So as there are two basic kinds of obedience, which is wise obedience and foolish obedience, there are also two basic kinds of obedient set of people: the wise obedient people and the foolish obedient people. Wise obedience is exemplified by keep obeying the elders, the teachers, the pastors, the prophets, the government of different categories, the traditional rulers, and other private entities who have authority in businesses and many other adventures. It should be wise if we keep obeying them so far they have the interest of our benefit at heart. But it should not make any sense if we keep obeying them when we discover that these people do not have our benefit as their interest at heart. We may confront them or we may complain against them about their misbehaviors. But the only thing that will encourage us to keep obeying them is their willingness to change or to repent from their selfishness and to carry us along. Though they are the authorities, though they are the elders, our interests are at stake in their ventures, in their leadership, in the things they are doing which we are connected to. The reason of long-lasting African slavery, one of the major reasons for long-lasting African slavery is foolish obedience by the Africans, and mostly we the black Africans. One of the reasons black Africans will remain under colonialism from Europeans, from Asians, and from Americans and other nations from different parts of the world is because of our foolish obedience. How do I mean? We the Africans, and specifically the black Africans, we the Nigerians, and we the Biafrans can never be free if we keep obeying the wrong people. Wrong leaders are placed over us. Wrong governments are placed over us. We have wrong elders. We have wrong youth elders which we have been obeying and which we keep obeying until now. We have wrong traditional rulers over us which we have been worshiping, and we keep worshiping them until now. We have past and present president, vice president, councillors, senators, ministers of different kinds in different offices who have no good intention, who have no plan, who don't care about the Nigerian masses, about the Biafran masses. They only care for themselves. And they have been enslaving us all this year long because we foolishly continue to obey them. It does not make sense if we, as Biafran, if the Nigerians continue to obey the presidents, the leaders, the sociocultural group, youth and elder leaders who do not have their interests at heart, who have no vision, who have no agenda to better their lives. Foolish obedience by the Nigerian masses is what have kept a foreigner, a foreign impostor in Aso Rock Villa, that is in the seat of power of the British amalgamation company called Nigeria, a foreigner whose name is Jubril al-Sudani, who was taken from Sudan to come and replace Nigerian late President Muhammadu Buhari. And Nigerians have heard about this, and because of foolish obedience of the Nigerian masses, they are not contesting that impostor should be verified, tested and verified. People are just beating around the bush, celebrating their weaknesses, celebrating their foolish obedience, because Nigerian government have decided that nobody should impeach that Jubril in Aso Rock. Even the Nigerian senators cannot impeach Jubril because Nigerian senators are foolish, obedient set of people. Our vice president, the Nigerian vice president, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, cannot impeach this Jubril al-Sudani, a foreign impostor from Sudan, who has been taken by the Nigerian cabal to represent Nigerian official late President Muhammadu Buhari, because Osibanjo is a foolish, obedient Nigerian vice president. Atiku Abubakar cannot campaign to remove that impostor in Aso Rock because Atiku Abubakar is a foolish Nigerian obedient, Nigerian. Peter Obi cannot campaign against Jubril al-Sudani to be removed from that Aso Rock, from that seat of power, a foreigner residing over Nigerian affairs. Peter Obi want to contest, Atiku want to contest against him in this year 2019 forthcoming election next month, February. That is because Peter Obi is a foolish, obedient Nigerian. Nigerian youths are one of the greatest, one of the foolish, obedient citizens of the highest order. When I say Nigerian youths, I mean those from different tribes of Nigeria, apart from the Nigerian, apart from the eastern Nigeria. Then from the Yoruba land, Edo State, Middle Belt. Then all the believers of one Nigeria, the Igbo politicians, all the politicians from Biafra land, Ohanese group, Ohanese youth, then every other person that believes in one Nigeria. They are the foolish, obedient Nigerians of the highest order. Kingsley Moghalu and Sowore, those spearheading the youth campaign, the youth candidate to aspiring to contest in this 2019 presidential election, both of them are foolish, obedient Nigerian political candidates, foolish, obedient Nigerian presidential aspirants. That is what Sowore and Kingsley Moghalu are. The reason I'm saying this is because Sowore and Kingsley Moghalu have heard in several occasions about an impostor residing over Nigerian affairs. What Sowore and Kingsley Moghalu should do is to campaign against the verification of the matter about an impostor residing over Nigerian affairs, as revealed by the Supreme Leader of Indigenous People of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Sowore and Kingsley Moghalu have made the greatest mistake of highest order by trying to contest in this forthcoming election. You want to contest against a foreigner, and you want to prove to me you are smart and you are wise. You are foolish, obedient Nigerian presidential aspirant, Kingsley Moghalu and Sowore. This is what you are, and nothing more than that. Your smartness, your wisdom should begin by campaigning against the verification of the true identity of the man called Nigerian president. When you verify this and prove Nnamdi Kanu to be wrong, then I will support that Nnamdi Kanu will be jailed, if need be, for accusing a whole Nigerian president to be an impostor. But if the verification is officially conducted and there is the reason and there is a confirmation that Nnamdi Kanu is right about what he is saying, Nigeria election should not hold. I'm talking about foolish obedience and wise obedience. Kingsley Moghalu and Sowore, you have foolishly obeyed the Nigerian cabal. Your campaign and aspiration to contest in the presidential election is your foolish obedience to the tone of the Nigerian cabal, because this is the game Nigerian cabal have set. Atiku Abubakar has foolishly obeyed the Nigerian stupid authority. Nigerian government is no different from stupidity, from foolishness. And Atiku Abubakar has foolishly obeyed the stupid Nigerian government, because Nigerian government is stupid because it does not make any sense. Nigerian government do not have any good interest of the masses at heart. Nigerian government, under normal circumstances, should verify who is that man residing over Nigerian affairs as Nigerian government, as a replacement of late Muhammadu Buhari. Sowore and Kingsley Moghalu are aware that the cabals are the people behind this atrocity, this political felony, whatever word you may use for it. Yet you want to contest against a foreigner, you want to contest against a Jubril from Sudan, and you want to tell me you are wise. And I don't blame you much. The people I blame much are the millions of Nigerian youth, who foolishly obey Kingsley Moghalu and obey Sowore, to be their supporters in their campaign for forthcoming Nigerian presidential election, while all of you have heard that the man residing over the Nigerian affairs is a foreigner, an impostor who has come to replace your late president. Osibanjo, on his own side, is still campaigning that the Yorubas should vote for Jubril, an impostor from Sudan. Then Peter Obi is campaigning with Atiku Abubakar that the Igbos and other people should support them to vote out an impostor in Aso Rock, a foreigner. Then does that make any sense? It is because you are stupid. It is because all of you are stupid, and the Nigerian government is stupid, and that is the reason Nigerian government as a whole has stupidly obeyed an impostor from a foreign land who is residing over our affairs. The reason we will continue to suffer as a British company amalgamated in the name of Nigeria is because of this foolish obedience by those by those who are called the authority, the Nigerian government themselves, the governors who have supported them, all other politicians like Sowore and Kingsley Moghalu. You are all foolish, obedient Nigerians. The youth who support you are all foolish, obedient Nigerians. Ohaneze Ndi Igbo and the Igbo youth presidents, Igbo youth leaders who want to lead the Igbos, and the Biafra youth leaders, all those fake Biafra agitators who say they want to contest in Nigeria election to vote out imposters. You are all foolish, obedient Nigerians. The only wise, I'm just talking about using the political affairs that is going on in Nigeria as a matter of example. There are other ways people misbehave and foolishly obey individuals outside the political sectors. But I want to specify my message on the affairs of political issue and how it has been reflecting negatively in the life of fellow Nigerians. Our senators earn over 25 million monthly beside the allowance which they collect. And Sowore is there talking about if he happens to become the president, how he will increase the salary of the teachers and the workers' salaries, how he will do it. And Kingsley Moghalu on his own side was talking based on his economic management experience, based on his academic degree. All those things you are talking does not make any meaning, because I am sure you were too, both of you, we are in that interview just displaying your knowledge. The right thing is to call those senators, all those ministers, the president, everybody must come. It should be a matter of discussion, and before the election there must be a proper agreement. That is how things are supposed to be done. There must be a proper agreement. It is not wrong if there will be a cut, that is salary cut among those people, reducing the salary of the Senate from 25 million to 2 million, which is about $10,000 or $12,000. You reduce the Senate's salary from 25 million naira to 12 million, while you use the cut you have from them to increase the salary of other workers. Then increasing, and the minimum, this is my own view now, then minimum wage in Nigeria, depending on the minimum wage in Nigeria should be at least from 300,000. It is an error for the Nigerian government to be paying themselves. Why things are the way it is because it's just like the Senate pay themselves and not the Labour Congress paying them. But under normal circumstances, the Labour Congress are supposed to be the people paying the Senate, paying the president, paying all the government officials, because the government officials are the servants of the people. They are not the masters of the people. They don't own the people, as Showore rightly said, and that is where you make the comment I like. The government do not own the people, rather the people own the government. The government are the servants of the people in the actual sense, but because of selfishness, manipulation, and the stupid obedience of the people, the government now own the people, use the people as their property, use all the resources as their personal property, and the people now become beggars to the government rather than government being disciplined by the people. All the people talking about voting are all stupid, foolish, obedient Nigerians. Voting in Nigeria at this moment make no sense, and whatever thing that make no sense is stupidity. So Nigeria election is no different from stupidity, and all the participants in Nigeria election and all the campaigners are all stupid. You are stupid because an impostor is the person leading your country, a foreigner leading your country, and you are there talking trash, telling people to come and vote. Vote for who and against who? It is a shame, it is a disgrace that Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, what is it called? Yemi Osinbajo, Showore, Kingsley Moghalu, and all of you who are campaigning to contest for the presidential election, you all are failures. You are failures. That is, your acts have spelled disappointment. I would have made this video since 2 months ago, but I was just waiting to gather some facts, and I have gathered enough facts. That is the reason I have come to make this video now. Your act, Kingsley Moghalu, Showore, Yemi Osinbajo, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, you are all failures. Your actions, your decision, your campaign just define total failure. concerning the affairs of Nigeria. How can people of your calibers be campaigning against an impostor? What you should do is to go and verify who is residing over Nigerian affairs and have Nnamdi Kanu to be jailed if what he is saying about this man is wrong. But if what he is saying is right, then Jubril has to be jailed. But because we have foolish, obedient leaders like Atiku Abubakar, like Ishowore, like Kingsley Moghalu, like Oshibanjo, like Peter Obi, and the foolish governors from eastern Nigerians, as led by Dev Umahi, who has declared Operation Python Dance. You declare Operation Python Dance because of national election which is to be conducted in the favor and or against, depending on the party, depending on the parties and the voters, whosoever they decide to vote for. So you have now approved Operation Python Dance in the favor of an impostor because he is your party member. That is the person you are promoting. So Dev Umahi and your fellow useless Igbo political governors, as you all are imposed over us. Now you have approved Operation Python Dance. For the Python to come and dance because you want to favor an impostor, a foreigner residing over the national affairs. If not because all of you Igbo political, all of you Igbo foolish political obedient servant, if not because of your foolishness, if not because you are failures, if not because you are saboteurs, what stops you from moving for verification of the man in Aso Rock, the man residing over the national affairs in the name of the Nigerian president, an impostor, a foreigner who is hired and heavily paid to come and represent the late president. And all you are doing is now just to conduct the election. You choose whomsoever you like to replace an impostor, then officially announce him as the winner of the election and the current Nigerian president. This is the game you are playing. We know all these things. But the people I pity most are those your blind followers. The blind followers of Nnianwodo. The blind followers of Ohaneze Youth President, the blind followers, those who call themselves Igbo Youth, Ohaneze Youth, who foolishly and blindly obey their leaders, who mean no well for them, because I know some interest some people have. Showore will not engage himself for verification of Jubril, because Showore and the Kingsley Moghalu, they are both a kind of polishing the shoes of the Nigerian cabal. They are just shoe shiners. They are shining the shoes of the Nigerian cabal, for which they are sure that at the end they will not be chosen as the president. None of them, neither Showore nor Kingsley Moghalu, will be permitted to win the presidential election because they will be rigged out. But what happened is that they are still interested in the unity of Nigeria, of which even if it caused the death, and they are interested at the continuation of unity of Nigeria at the cost of the future and the lives of millions of Nigerians. both those who will vote and those who will not vote. Everybody is at risk. Nobody is actually safe in Nigeria. Them themselves are not actually safe, but because of fear and because of self-interest, they are still promoting the unity of Nigeria in the wrong way. The unity of Nigeria should be authentic when you confront the cabal and tell them to tell us who is this man in Aso Rock in the replacement of late Muhammadu Buhari. That is when you will do the right thing. The reason for agitation is because injustice is prevalent in Nigeria. Injustice is prevalent in Aso Rock. Injustice is prevalent in state and local governments. Injustice is prevalent among Nigerian tribes. As I'm talking to you, Sowore is interested and is defending the interest of the Yoruba political elite. This is the game people will not understand. Kingsley Moghalu is interested in protecting the interests of Ohaneze and other Igbo one Nigerianists. As some of us know, the reason the Ohaneze will never support the restoration of Biafra and the Ohaneze youth of some of them know and the majority of the blind followers among them do not know is because some of the Ohaneze members are those who have their investment both in Lagos and other Yoruba land and the different the northern Nigeria, Kano, Kaduna precisely, and different locations in the north. They have their investment there and they are afraid of losing those investments if Biafra has to be officially restored. For this reason, they prefer everybody should remain in one Nigeria and keep suffering so far their own interest is being protected. And some of them are afraid. People like Mike Adenuga, people like Theophilus Danjuma, and their likes, those whom oil blocks are allocated to, will never support any referendum. They will never want to impose this Jubril in Aso Rock, because imposing Jubril in Aso Rock may result in referendum, of which will be the best way of settling Nigerian matter. And if Nigeria has to be splitted, these people who oil blocks have been located to are afraid of losing them, because the oil block allocated to the Yoruba man who hailed from Ogun State, or I don't know the state where Mike Adenuga hailed, and some of them. The oil block that is allocated to him is stated somewhere, either in Bayelsa or Rivers State. The same, or in Akwa Ibom, the same thing is applicable to T.Y. Danjuma. The same thing is applicable to many of them. And that is the reason, even as Danjuma, under his watch, the Middle Belt people are being killed day after day. He is not opposing the Nigerian government, he is not doing everything. He is a foolish, obedient Nigerian. And the reason, one of the reasons for his silence is because an oil block is allocated to him. So if he happened to confront the government, they will definitely take the oil block back from him, and his life will be at risk. He is afraid of dying. He is afraid of losing his oil block. The same thing is applicable to Mike Adenuga. The same thing is applicable to all of them. Olusegun Obasanjo, Tinubu, all of those political mafians in Nigeria, the cabals, they have their stake in the corrupt unity of Nigeria, and they are afraid of losing their stakes because they make millions of money on daily basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis. They make millions of hard currencies. As it is, so it is among most Nigerian political cabals, most northern Nigerian political cabals, like IBB, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, some of them as well. They have their stake. So that those their stakes are more important to them than doing the right thing. The right thing, nothing should be more right now to be done than to bring down the man in Asoro, bring him out, judge him, verify that this man is an impostor and a foreigner, not even a Nigerian impostor, not even a Biafran impostor, but a foreign impostor. There is nothing more than that should be done now. Electioneering is not the right thing to be done by Nigerians. Electioneering is a mistake, is a failure. So 2019, a Nigerian election, as people are campaigning, you are campaigning failure. You are campaigning for failure, and your voting is because of your stupid obedience to stupid government. If Nigerians are wise, they are supposed to channel their obedience to the wise people. The wise people are the people who are talking about impeaching this Jibril al-Sudani, a foreigner from Sudan, a very young man who is now brought and quoted to look like late Muhammadu Buhari, and to replace him in the seat of power. This is the only right thing that should be done now. And after the verification, it must be either Nnamdi Kanu is wrong and will be jailed, or Jubril is wrong and will be jailed. But because Africans, Nigerians, and the many foolish Biafrans cannot stand up for what belongs to them, and that is the reason they want to they confuse you, making you to believe that you will change the situation by voting. They are just there sustaining you. Showore know what I'm talking. Kingsley Moghalu know what I'm talking. They are just playing over your intelligence, just to hold you ransom until you come and vote. When you vote, it's either you definitely you vote Atiku into power, because now the issue of the Jibril have been exposed. The game will, from my prediction, they will play the game in a way that Jibril will not win, rather Atiku will win, so that they will channel the people's attention from the verification of whom Jibril truly is. And after the election, you will no longer know where Jibril is anymore. All that the people will be talking is Abubakar. Then when Abubakar will balance in the seat of power, you will come and regret the failure you are about to fail between now and the election date. I am making this video not because it will affect, not because it will discourage all Nigerians not to vote, but I'm making this video only to reveal the right thing that Nigerians should do. I'm making this video to let Nigerians, to let Biafrans know that one of the major reasons for our long-lasting suffering is because of our foolish obedience. And there are foolish obedience people among us. The foolish obedience people among us are the vast majority. They are the 90% or the 80% of the number of the about 180 million people in that contraption called Nigeria. The only wise, obedient people concerning the Nigerian political affairs the only wise set of people are few people who are supporting the impeachment and the verification of the real identity of the man residing over Nigeria affairs in Aso Rock in the falsified name of Muhammadu Buhari. The few individuals from various tribes of Nigeria and of Nigeria and the organization of which I am a member, the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. These are the wise, obedient people at the moment. What makes us wise, obedient people of the moment? It is because we have seen the evil and unchanging corrupt pattern of Nigerian government, of Nigerian running system, of the evil foundation laid as Nigerian political foundation and the defrauding constitution with which is this run, and the lack of respect for rule of law by the cabals, by the Nigerian government, by the Nigerian president himself, and many other of his supporters. So for this reason, we have risen in opposition to all the nonsense going on in Nigeria as we are led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our supreme leader in the indigenous people of Biafra. We are wise, obedient people. We are wise, obedient Biafrans because we channel our obedience to those who are doing the real things. Nnamdi Kanu led IPOB authority are the people doing the right thing. They are doing the right thing in the sense of they disagree with all the nonsense that people have been subjected to, all the nonsense political tyranny, both our vice presidents, our senators, all have been subjected to. They have risen against all the marginalization against Nigerian indigenous people and against their own regional people, the Biafrans in particularly, and the Igbo tribe, because we are immensely marginalized, and some of us have foolishly been patronizing the marginalization over us because they choose to be foolish, obedient citizens, foolish, obedient indigenous people. But we, the hardcore Biafrans, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, have chosen to be wise, obedient indigenous people, and that is the reason we will not comply to the tone, we will not dance to the tone of the Nigerian government. We have our wise leaders. Our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is a wise leader. A wise leader is a leader who leads with integrity, who has vision, who has plan and purpose for the betterment of his people. This is how to know a wise leader, and this is whom Nnamdi Kanu is, whom Uche Mefo is, and all the rest of them who are under the high authority of indigenous people of Biafra. Good leaders are not those who are selling their people out, like the Igbo governors, like Nyamodo led Ohaneze, and the Ohaneze youth. They are both themselves and their leaders. These are the slave obedient servants. But we will refuse, we reject we disagree to remain in slavery. Nigerian government is slavery. Nigerian system of things is slavery. And we are sure that voting will not solve the problem. What will solve the problem is for Nigerians to protest against the man sitting on that seat of power in Aso Rock, who decide your affairs contrary to your will, contrary to your expected future, contrary to your normal state of living. Who is that man? You are told that he is a foreigner who is hired to come and intimidate you, to come and kill you, to come and support those who rape your mothers, rape your sisters, rape your aunties, rape your wives. Yet they tell you when you raise their voice of protest, they will tell you, go and form your political party and vote him out. And you stupidly go and form your political party to go and vote out an impostor. Look at you. Look at your smartness. Look at your smartness. You claim you are a smart Nigerian. You are a smart Biafran. But you want to vote against an impostor. You want to contest an election against an impostor. Even some people here in Europe, they will tell you what Nnamdi Kanu is talking about, the Jubilee is not true. If it is true, how does Nnamdi Kanu mean that Osibanjo is not interested to be the president? If it is true, why not Osibanjo take this stuff? But my response to them is always, because Osibanjo lack the capacity, and the cabal are the mafians. Osibanjo is being subjected by the mafians. He desires it if it is given to him, but he cannot fight for it because he is a conquered vice president. Tell me, no, say, Collins, I should not say this. Say they have lived so very long in Europe. They are civilized. They have acquired many experiences. That the man in Aso Rock we are talking about, he traveled to Poland where he declared that he is not Jubril, he is truly Buhari people are talking about. Then why should we continue to say that he is not the real Buhari? And then, do you see yourself? You claim to have lived in Europe maybe for 20 years thereabout, and you are claiming you have acquired much experience, that you are civilized, and yet your civilization does not let you know that you have been belittled, you have been disrespected, you have been messed up by your president who leave your home country to go to a foreign country, from there telling you he is Jubril. He is not Jubril, he is the real Buhari. What an insult over all Nigerians. And you are here in Europe, you are claiming you know what you are doing, you are claiming you are civilized, and you do not know that it is your right to demand that your president should tell you who he is, and addressing you while in your home country. Even if you are not present there, but that is where the normal place he is supposed to clarify himself, and not in a foreign country. Then you are telling me he was in Poland and saying this. Who saw him? How many millions of Nigeria came to witness? And who are they who witnessed? Is it those? Then where is the man? Nnamdi Kanu. Is Nnamdi Kanu there? Who said it? Then did Nnamdi Kanu send his delegate to go and verify, to confirm, to defend his to defend his should I call it claim over Juhari, or his impeachment, to defend and verify his impeachment? This is how things are supposed to be done, and everything has to take place in Nigeria. But some people are here in Europe claiming they are civilized Nigerians, they are wise Nigerians, they have lived in Europe for 20 years, but do not know that they are being insulted by their president, who cannot address them while at home and begin to address them for his identity in a foreign country. And that did not show them that the Nigerian affairs are being decided in foreign countries rather than in Nigeria. And that is what have kept us where we are. Well, I want to round up this video. The most important thing is to let us know that there are wise, obedient citizens among Nigerians and Biafrans. There are wise, obedient citizens among other black Africans. But these wise, obedient citizens are the very minor number of people. Just for example, in the contraction of the 160 Nigerian millions, let me say 20 million or 15 million, or let me say use the number 20 million are the real IPOB members who are protesting against the identity of the fake identity of the replacement of the British company in the name of Nigeria, led by late Muhammadu Buhari. Then the rest 160 million people who dwell in that settlement with us are the people who are propagating about voting. That is to tell you that only the minority are the wise, obedient citizens, because the wise minority will not want to lavish their obedience to the Nigerian cabal, who refuse to verify the identity of the impostor in Aso Rock and publicize it to the world. Rather, they give you military, give you police with gun in the name of Operation Python Dance to come and surrender you. And now, very soon, the Nigeria nationwide will be surrendered. They will be surrendered by the army and by the police, maybe by Navy and the rest of them. They will be surrendered. Then you will be surrendered until you foolishly and obediently go and vote to prolong your slavery. And it should be after the voting you will really understand the greatest mistake you have made. So I'm making this video not because I just like talking, but because I have the obligation to tell people the truth. And prevention is better than cure. So I have to tell you what you should do and not voting. What you should do is, first of all, to impeach the man in Aso Rock as who is the president. Then you know who is ruling you. Then you have to, this is the time, you have to decide how you are to be ruled and to make the Nigerian stupid government to realize that they do not own you, the masses, but we, the masses, own them. And that our senators are not supposed to be the people working and paying themselves. And that is the reason the Nigerian politicians, because they pay themselves, they make the payment system that after every month, after every year, all the Nigerian wealth will be circulating around the account of the Nigerian politician, while the rest Nigerian masses remain in poverty. All these things have been going for decades, going the same way for decades, because the masses who are led are foolish, obedient masses, and they want to continue on it. And that is the reason you cannot liberate yourself, and that is the reason Africa as a whole, using Nigeria and Biafra as cases example, cannot gain freedom. Nigeria, Biafra, your freedom begins when you begin to practice what is called civil disobedience, which we, the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, practice. This is the system we apply because we know for sure that things have been going wrong and is going wrong more and more on daily basis, on weekly basis, on yearly basis. And the same system have been the system. Go and vote this person out. We have been voting people out and there is no change. Not only that, now what is called I can't remember the word, the proper word to be used for it. That is about the case of Jibril, a foreigner being hired to come and direct your affairs, just being hired to stay there, giving command that will cause the destruction of your farmland so that you will not have food. This is a program you people do not understand, many people do not understand. The reason Fulani herdsmen are sent to destroy people's land, destroy people's farm, is so that as the election is approaching, there will be scarcity of food. And that is the reason people will rush to collect just 10 cups of rice with little money to go and vote and sell out their future for the next 8 years, of which they are not sure. And these 8 years or 4 years will give the Fulanis the time they need to come and finish you. And as I'm talking to you, I will not be surprised that most of the Nigerian faith pastors will begin to embrace Islam. Even the ones they call Reverend Father, like Mbaka, the rest of them, Kumuyi, what are they called? All those fake Yoruba and the Igbo pastors, those fake Nigerian pastors. I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised if I have any time that they have embraced Islam, because this is a plan. Most of them are political members who are appointed by their political mates to begin to pastor churches. Some of them are even school cult members who graduated from school and established churches. They did not establish the church because they want to use it to better the life of the people. Rather, they are hired to confuse you more and more. And it is because the Nigerian evil politicians know that the voice of pastors, the voice of preachers are consistently and continually obeyed by their members. They begin to appoint their own political pastors over you, whom you continue to obey, and they draw you to the voting polls where you go and vote. They campaign for the politicians. And the reason people like Kumuyi will not talk against the killings in Nigeria, against an impostor ruling Nigeria, is because those politicians and those among the Yorubas who oil blocks and some lucrative transactions are located are the people who patronize them. They get money from these people, from those politicians. Suleiman get money from them. All of those fake pastors, those preachers get money from your politicians. And that is the reason they are drawing you to the poll to go and vote, when they, as men of God, are supposed to be the people championing the truth that the man ruling us is a foreigner, and that should not supposed to be. But they are the people preaching that you should go and vote and contest against that man. And even some of them are campaigning for that man, just like Ejike Mbaka. They are campaigning for him from Buhari to Atiku. That is how most of them are damping, defecting, like the politicians like themselves who defect from one party to another, today from one party to another. This is what your so-called pastors are doing, and you are foolishly and blindly following and obeying them. That is the reason Nigerians and Biafrans, many Biafrans, the foolish Biafrans, will keep remaining in bondage, in political bondage, political slavery. You cannot gain freedom anytime, and freedom should not fall from heaven. You have to take action. My own part is to tell you where you are failing and what to do. What to do is to begin now to say no to the decision made on your behalf by your stupid leaders, by your selfish leaders, by your tyrants, by those who want to draw you to be Islamized. You are a Christian, maybe you are just a free moral agent who would not like to be Islamized, but your governors, the Igbo governors, Igbo politicians, almost half of them are now Islamized. And very soon, after your voting, you see some of them will begin to embrace Islam, because they have already vowed to be Islamized. But if they come to you as Muslims, you may not obey them. That is the reason they are keeping quiet already. But your refusal to obey them will change the tone of the music, and everything will begin to be changed. The reason you are where you are, where we are, is because the majority of Nigerians and Biafrans are still dancing to the tone of the Nigerian cabals. That is the reason they are still winning the game. The only people they are afraid of are the IPOB. They will not talk against Sowore. Nigerian cabals will not talk against Sowore. They will not talk against Kingsley Moghalu, because these people are dancing according to their tone. These are the shoe shiners shining the shoe for which you will be attracted to. At the presidential shoe, they will keep marching. You keep watching them, get distracted until you vote. After the voting, you will know exactly what the negative, that is the cost of the mistakes you have made, and where your foolish obedience will land you. So it is never too late. It is late, but not too late to decide from now that you will not vote. The major solution to Nigerian problem now is referendum. I'm not forcing anybody to become a Biafran. On that referendum, even if you are an Igbo or you are from any part of Biafra land, you may decide to remain one Nigeria. Even if Nigeria is shared any moment, then you may decide to belong to Nigeria. Then Nigeria will give you the Nigerian passport. You follow them. Then those, even if we are only 10 million or 20 million who accept to be Biafra, will be our Biafra. Then we will give us our Biafra, we restore it, then everybody, the case will be settled. That is how it will be. Then even if you are talking about making Nigeria great again, or maybe transforming Nigeria, everything, the voting makes no sense. It makes no meaning. It will not help any situation. But referendum does. You and the politicians, the representatives of the youth and everybody has to come to a round table, sit down and discuss on how one Nigeria you are talking about should move forward. Then everybody will table his view, table his opinion, then you place your interest, then at the end there will be an agreement. This is what Nigeria needs now. Apart from that, the next thing you need is revolution. Revolution starts from civil obedience. Our politicians, the voting will not favor us, so we won't vote again, then you decide on what to do. And you be ready to face the consequences, but because they must definitely come for you, because you are being ruled by tyrants. And the reason you continue to complain and suffer and continue to be confused is because you never knew that you are a foolish, obedient Nigerian. It is only those, the few among the lovers of freedom, the few among the supporters of IPOB from other tribes, then the IPOB themselves, those who stand outrightly in opposition to the Nigerian government and to the evil foundation, evil system. These are the only wise, obedient people. These are the people, we are the people who have been practicing civil disobedience. We are the people who have been saying no to all the wrong decisions Nigerian government make on the behalf of the people. We are the only people. Assuming all other people have been following suit in our system, Nigeria will not have been the way it is now. Something must have been done maybe 6 months or even 1 year ago, but it is because we are only the group fighting against it. Asare Dokubo is not fighting against the cabal, rather he is polishing the shoe of the cabal because he is supporting voting. And voting makes no sense in Nigeria. What Asare Dokubo should be talking is about exposition, verification, and the confirmation of the identity of the man residing over Nigerian affairs. That is what Asare Dokubo should be talking about. That is what Sowore should be talking about. That is what Kingsley Moghalu should be talking about. That is what Atiku Abubakar should be talking about. That is what Peter Obi should be talking about. Osinbajo, Yemi Osinbajo. This is what all of them should be talking about, and not the trash of come and vote him out. There's no sense about it. It is because they are foolish, obedient servants, slaves of the Nigerian cabal, and they become foolish, obedient masters of the Nigerian governors. Nigerian governors are foolish, obedient slaves of the Nigerian cabal. Then the local government chairmen, the traditional rulers, apart from those traditional rulers who are IPOB supporters, all the rest of them are foolish, obedient of their various state governors. That is the reason we find ourselves in this situation, and that is the reason we'll keep suffering in this situation, because people are not willing to say no to the slavery decision made on their behalf by their blind and foolish leaders. So the majority of the people decide to be and to remain foolish, obedient citizens. That is the reason we will remain the way we are. I will keep suffering, we keep smiling, we keep complaining, yet no changes. But I'm here promising you that Nigerian voting will not help you. It will only help those who have interest, those who Nigerian voting will favor. Few among Nigeria, it is still the same set of people. Maybe out of the 80 million people we are, like 20 million will just benefit from it, get very, very, very rich, while the rest will keep suffering because you have not made the right decision. Voting is not the right decision. The right decision is to say no. We want to discuss government, our state government, our local government, our traditional rulers, our federal government. Let us come to the table. Let us sit down and discuss. Come and account for us. How should this country be run? Then you agree on something. Whatever thing you agree on is the basis upon which you should vote, and not them going about just campaigning, telling you anything without any official agreement. They just tell you anything and draw you to the election poll where you go and vote. And after voting, the same thing continues. Let me just close the message of today here. May God bless all of you. This message will definitely be posted to YouTube, as I have downloaded some of my past messages to YouTube. So this one as well will be posted to YouTube, to Facebook. So why I want to, the reason for posting it into YouTube is so that whenever anybody wants to listen to any of the message from me, the person will just put my name on the YouTube window. Put my name, Collins Inyima, Collins, Collins. That is Collins Inyima, Inyima. That is Inyima. As soon as you put my name, then you see the series of the messages I have been recording all this while. But when you go to Facebook, it will quickly get lost because I post variety of things on my Facebook page. So, and if whosoever that desires to listen to any message from me and by me, you just put my name straight as Collins Inyima in YouTube. Then you see you see the line of message I've been posting, the few there are. Then as time goes on, I continue to make other videos and be posting until they will become many, depending on whichever one anyone wants to listen to. May God bless you all of us. May God bless all of us. Happy New Year once again. Be really blessed. I love myself. I love you. I love Africans. It is not my will and will never be that Africa will remain in slavery. It is my will that Africa will be delivered from slavery, and starting from my home country and my home neighboring countries, my home country Biafra, my home neighboring countries Arewa, Dudua, which we are combined and by slavery called Nigeria. When we will be divided, we will still remain my neighboring country, and I will still be trying my best to ensure that the captives are being delivered from their captivity as much as I can. I love you all. I'm not trying to be sentimental, but I want to let you know that I need my freedom. Freedom is important. And for the fact the Yoruba man or the Hausa man love remaining in slavery it should not be a reason why I should remain in slavery. So if the Yoruba man and the Hausa man are not willing to fight for their freedom, I am, and I should not be blamed for struggling to earn my freedom. This is exactly what I am doing. So I will not encourage you to remain in slavery, and you will not expect me to remain in slavery with you. Rather, I am doing the right thing for fighting for my freedom. So you will be wise and you will do the right thing if you follow suit. Follow suit with me. Follow suit with IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra. We are the wise, obedient indigenous people. The rest, apart from the few who support our view, who support our agenda, who support us, who are non-IPOB members, but support our agenda, support our mission, these are the wise, obedient citizen. We obey Mazen Nnamdi Kanu because he is a wise leader, a visionary leader who has the interests of the people at heart. Nnamdi Kanu is not the master of IPOB. Rather, he is the chief servant of the IPOB. He is appointed by the people, by the indigenous people of Biafra, the IPOB. We see him trustworthy. We see him as a man of integrity. Then we appoint him. So he do not just decide on our behalf. Any decision you see Nnamdi Kanu making is what the IPOB as people have agreed, and tell him, okay, you are our mouthpiece. Speak on our behalf. This is what we want you to say on our behalf. And that is the reason people are surprised how we follow Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So the difference is Nigerian's political and governance system is a system whereby the leaders don't consult you to know what you want from them, and they don't even have time to relate with you. They only package what will benefit them, what will serve their own interests, and speak